Hi everyone, my name is Gladys. I am currently a scholarship officer with MFA. This is part of the Women in Diplomacy feature stories. And today we have with us Amelia. So Amelia, do tell us a little bit more of what you do in MFA.
Hi everyone, my name is Amelia and I am currently in the Human Resource Directorate, same as Gladys. I'm in charge of the career development portfolio where we arrange for the deployments of our officers to our overseas missions as well as to the various directorates within the ministry.
Speaking of overseas mission, I understand that you were previously posted to Guangzhou.
Yeah.
So could you share a little bit more about what you did in Guangzhou? What was your destination there and your experiences while you were posted in Guangzhou?
Okay, so I was in Guangzhou from 2015 to 2018. I was consul administration and consular, so mainly really in charge of missions, day-to-day operations, administrative work. We do a lot of stuff like from human resource, finance, logistics, running of events, etc. I also assist Singaporeans in distress overseas. So when I joined Guangzhou, it was SG50. So it was the best time, to say, hey,
to promote Singapore.
SG50, let's do something special, right? To promote Singapore, to have the local Guangzhou people understand what Singapore is. Because like a lot of them just see us as, you're a small country. 一个小岛罢了, like a small country. Yeah. So I wanted to show them that, there is more to Singapore than what they understand on the surface. So we actually brought in a SG50 exhibition where we showcase Singapore's history. And we did a little mini exhibition, photo exhibition in the Guangzhou Library. From then, like 2015, I thought, my KPI, I must hit one cultural event every year because like the first one was quite well received. So this was really outside my job scope. But of course, at that point in time, cultural diplomacy was encouraged. So even though I'm not a cultural attaché or like my portfolio did not encompass that part, I thought this is something that I could add value to. Because to be honest, when you're in a mission overseas, a lot of people, when you introduce yourselves, right, because you have to take the initiative to build your own contacts, cultivate your network, things like that. Some people do not look past your name card. When they see admin and consular, what can I talk to this person about? So I decided to carve out a niche for myself and develop that cultural part. So I try to be relevant to the mission, add value to other things in mission, aside from the admin and the consular things, which is part and parcel of what I do. In the second year, we screened Singapore movies at a bookshop. We shortlisted a couple of films. So I showcased 12 Stories, Papa Yao, and then at the same time, we tried to have some cultural exchange. So like 12 Stories, it's like the setting is HDB flat. So what I did was I did a little short presentation on how we live in Singapore, HDB flat, what our playgrounds are like, childhood games. So we played like 5 stones and stuff with people who attended our events. And these people are the local Guangzhou people. And they could see that, hey, I also played this when I was young, pick up sticks. And then, so we found similarities in our childhood. We may not call it the same thing, but they also played the same thing. So we had this like very nice cultural exchange when we screened Baba Yao, which was about Ge Tai. Interestingly, the mother of the lead character, Qi Yi Wu, came for our event. And she said, I'm his mother. Then we were like, whoa, auntie, how, ni hao, then she was like, wow, so exciting. I wish my son could be here. So, to see that you're actually showcasing his movie in Guangzhou, which is his hometown. And I thought, even though the event was a very small scale, but it was a success in my opinion because we really got down to the ground and interacted with the locals. And we also, invited other diplomats from the other consulates and they came and they also enjoyed themselves. So I thought that was great. And the last year we did Peranakan. We invited someone from the owner of the Intan Museum in Singapore, Mr. Alvin. We did like a weekend of like activities that we could, share what Peranakan culture is. We had like a tile painting exercise. We made kueh pai tee. We taught the locals how to make that. He brought in some of the artifacts that he keeps in his museum to Guangzhou, and then we, with the help of Guangzhou Library again, so we borrowed their kitchen at their staff canteen, and then we did that.
So there was a cooking program in the Peranakan culture sharing session.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. Also, it sounds like you actually had a lot of autonomy doing the things, like choosing what you wanted to do while you were in Guangzhou.
Yeah, I was glad that my bosses then actually supported these ideas.
Yeah.
But also because at that point in time, we were also focusing on cultural diplomacy. It was great because of the relationship that I cultivated with the local contacts, like the library or the bookshop. Yeah.
So I understand when you went for your posting in Guangzhou, your husband tagged along, right? Yeah. How do you manage to convince your husband to uproot and follow, the love of his life to a different country?
I must say this is something that every female officer would encounter at any point in their career. Like when you especially when you are married, right? When you're single, you can still like, career comes first.
Yeah.
Let me go. You know, we can do long distance relationship for a while, right? So when you're single, it's easier to uproot yourself and then you just go. But when you're married, it's a little bit different because he would have to give up something to follow me. And for his case, it was his career. Yeah, because I think at that point in time, at least for him, he loved what he did. He had this great passion for what he did, and he was on his way to promotion, things like that. And when I told him that, hey, I'm offered Guangzhou and I want to go, because of course, being in MFA, I want to go for a posting. I will not say no to one. So he said, all right, in that case, I'll come with you. And I said, why don't you just take no pay leave? Then you keep your job in Singapore still. Your boss is supportive of no pay leave. Just take the no pay leave, come with me. He said, no, I will go, I will resign, and then I will come with you. He says, like, our marriage is more important than my career. Then
That's true love.
True love. I married the right guy. But yeah, so I was like, okay, I felt like it was a good move. Of course, for him it was tough. I won't say it was all rosy in the first year, at least. In the first year, it was difficult for him to adjust. First, to a new environment. Secondly, this environment requires you to speak Mandarin all the time, or even Cantonese. So it was a struggle for both of us. Once you get past that hurdle, then it's fine. He developed his photography hobby. He helped me take photos for mission events and things like that. So I have this like very nice album.
That's so supportive.
Yeah, of photos. Even though he lost a part of his identity, he found a new one in Guangzhou. So when he came back, then of course managed to find a new job and things like that. So things are better and
that's actually a very nice story. So I understand that the both of you now have recently, got a daughter. What's her name, by the way?
My daughter's name is Emeline.
Emeline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how old is she now?
9 months.
9 months. Oh, so still like a baby.
Still a baby. Yeah.
So in future, when you are posted overseas again, do you think you would bring Emeline and your husband along with you again?
Yes, most definitely. I think between my husband and I, we have this understanding. If I'm posted overseas, he would come because we want to keep the family together. So right now, he is trying to upskill himself, things like that, so that he can join me and then maybe find work remotely or something like that. And then of course I would like my child to have international exposure.
Right.
Growing up in Singapore is fun, but then when you go out and you come back, you would appreciate what you have at home more. In the outside world, other countries, some people have it worse.
Right.
I appreciate what I have more after going out. yeah, so in that sense, yes, we would go out as a family unit. Yeah.
And so you can also teach your daughter, you know, what it's like to appreciate Singapore
Yeah.
at the same time.
And also like have her develop adaptability lah. So not to get too comfortable, you know, in one place, you know, you get up with yourself, go to another place, expose yourself, you know, be open to another culture, be open to another language, you know, adapt. I didn't have that when I was growing up, you know, like the opportunity to like stay overseas, you know. So I hope to give that kind of environment for her. Yeah. So what about yourself?
I'm definitely looking forward to my overseas posting. I do have a partner. So I think, you know, the ideal situation is that I get a posting where he can also find, you know, a job situation there. Yeah. But it would be great if, you know, he can support me like your husband did for you.
Take photos.
In Guangzhou. Yeah, but we'll see, you know, we'll see how things go. Honestly, if you ask me now, maybe it's because I'm not married, I wouldn't mind just going, you know, for my posting alone. You know, I say that now, you know.
Yeah, when you get offered, then you start to think.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely looking forward. Yeah, very excited for it as well. Actually, you know, you've mentioned a lot about the pros of bringing your daughter.
Yeah.
You know, of raising a daughter in a different country. But what do you think might be some of the drawbacks? Because I've heard a lot. I think it's okay for adults, you know, it's easier for us to adapt to a new environment, but it might be very stressful for children to keep, you know, living that nomadic lifestyle as you are. So do you have these concerns? I know your baby is still a baby, she's still very young.
She has no choice just to come.
Yeah. But when the time comes,
Yeah.
Do you think it might pose as a big concern?
Probably yes. I think now that's why I want to take this opportunity that she's young. Just go for at least one, you know, and then I will leave the choice to her whether or not she wants to continue with coming with us or she would prefer to stay put in Singapore. Thankfully, I do have support system in Singapore. Like my mom, my parents are helping to look after her as well. So there's an option for her to remain in Singapore while I continue with my career. You know, the thing about MFA officers is we are always ready to take up some challenge.
Yeah. We just got this like adventurous spirit in us. Yeah.
Be it male or female, you have this. How would I say it? Like this lust for adventure. Like, you know, I think, you know, when you reach that stage, you know, things will fall into place and then you would be able to make an informed choice lah.
Thank you very much for sharing, Amelia. So we've come to the end of our feature story with Amelia. So stay tuned and keep watching for more feature stories.